Wait before you walk away from him. You need to hear this, because the man you're about to give up on might be the one God sent you to change forever. Let me tell you something. There are moments in life when love is not just about feelings. It's about assignment. And right now, you're not here by accident. You didn't cross paths with that man by coincidence. There is a reason. There is a purpose. And yes, there is a calling on your heart. You see, sometimes a man doesn't come into your life when he's already strong, already healed, already whole. Sometimes he shows up broken, confused, carrying weight he doesn't even know how to explain. And most people will look at him and walk away. Most people will say, he's not ready. But what if God allowed you to see him differently? Because a real woman doesn't just see what a man is, she sees what he can become. You have to understand something that a lot of people get wrong in relationships. Your role is not to fix a man, it's to support him. There's a big difference between those two. And if you don't know that difference, you'll end up losing yourself trying to carry a weight that was never yours to hold. A strong woman doesn't step into a man's life to become his healer, his rescuer, or his solution to every problem he has. She comes in with her own identity, her own values, her own peace, and she protects that at all costs. Now, supporting a man means you stand beside him, not in front of him, pulling him, and not behind him, pushing him. It means you encourage him when he's trying, you speak life into him when he's doubting himself, and you remind him of his strength when he forgets. But you don't take over his responsibilities. You don't make his decisions for him. And you definitely don't sacrifice your self-worth just to keep him comfortable. Because the moment you start doing that, you're no longer supporting, you're enabling. See, a man has to want to grow on his own. He has to face his own challenges, fight his own battles, and take responsibility for his own life. You can't do that work for him no matter how much you care. And the truth is, if you try, you'll only drain yourself emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. You'll wake up one day feeling exhausted, unappreciated, and lost, wondering how you gave so much and got so little in return. That's what happens when you confuse love with responsibility. A strong woman knows her power, but she also knows her limits. She knows that her presence can inspire, her words can uplift, and her love can motivate, but she never forgets that she is not the source of his transformation. He has to choose that for himself. And if he's not choosing growth, if he's not making an effort, then no amount of your love is going to change that. You can't pour into someone who refuses to pour into themselves. At the same time, supporting him means showing up with patience and understanding when he's genuinely trying. It means recognizing that nobody is perfect and growth takes time. You don't tear him down for every mistake, but you also don't ignore patterns that hurt you. You stand firm in your boundaries while still being compassionate. That balance right there, that's strength. And let me tell you something real, the right man won't expect you to fix him. The right man will appreciate your support, but he will never rely on it as a crutch. He'll take accountability, he'll put in effort, and he'll meet you halfway. That's how you know you're in something healthy. So never forget this, your job is not to save him. Your job is to be the kind of woman who knows her worth so deeply that she can love without losing herself. Because the moment you lose yourself trying to fix someone else, you've already given up too much. You have to learn how to look beyond what's right in front of you. Because sometimes what you see in the present is not the full story. There are moments when a man may not look like much to the world. He may be struggling, uncertain, trying to figure life out, and people will judge him based on that version alone. They'll label him, dismiss him, and walk away without ever taking the time to understand who he really is. But every now and then, something different happens inside you. You see more. You feel more. You recognize a potential that others overlook. And it doesn't come from logic, it comes from something deeper. Sometimes that ability to see beyond the surface is not just intuition, it's alignment. It's a moment where you're being shown a glimpse of what that man can become if he grows, if he heals, if he steps into his purpose. You notice qualities that aren't fully developed yet, his heart, his intentions, his hidden strength. And you realize there's more to him than his current circumstances. While others focus on his flaws, you catch glimpses of his character. While others see confusion, you see possibility. And that kind of vision can feel powerful. But here's where you have to be careful, because seeing someone's potential is not the same as living in their reality. It's one thing to recognize what a person can become, but it's another thing entirely to build your life around that future version while ignoring who they are right now. A strong woman knows how to hold both truths at the same time. She can acknowledge the potential, appreciate the good she sees, but she never disconnects from the present. She pays attention to actions, to patterns, to consistency, because that's what defines a person in real life. You can't fall in love with someone's future while suffering in their present. That's where many people lose themselves. They hold on hoping, waiting, believing that one day everything will change, that one day the man they see in their heart will finally show up in reality. But growth doesn't happen just because someone else believes in you. It happens because that person chooses it for themselves every single day. Potential without effort is just a possibility, not a promise. At the same time, don't ignore the gift it is to see something deeper in someone. That kind of vision isn't common. It means you're able to look past surface level judgments and connect with something real. It means you're not shallow in how you view people. But wisdom is knowing how to use that gift without letting it control you. You can support someone's growth, encourage their journey, and still require them to meet you with effort and accountability. The truth is, the right man won't just have potential, he'll have progress. You won't be the only one seeing his future. You'll start seeing it unfold in his actions. He'll take steps, make changes, and prove that what you saw in him wasn't just a dream. It was something real inside of him waiting to come out. That's when your belief in him becomes something beautiful, something balanced. So yes, see his potential. Don't be afraid to recognize the good in someone when others can't. But never lose sight of who he is today, because the right connection is not built on what someone might become. It's built on who they are and who they are actively working to be. You have to develop the wisdom to recognize a difference that can completely change your life. The difference between a man who is struggling and a man who simply isn't putting in the effort. On the surface, those two can look the same. Both may be inconsistent, both may fall short, both may come with excuses. But when you look closer, when you really pay attention, you'll see that they are not the same at all. And if you don't learn how to tell them apart, you'll end up giving your time, your energy, and your heart to someone who has no intention of growing. A man who is struggling is still trying. Even when he fails, even when he gets it wrong, there is effort behind his actions. You'll see it in the way he keeps showing up, even when it's hard. You'll hear it in his words when he takes responsibility instead of shifting blame. He may not be perfect, but there's progress. There's a willingness to learn, to improve, to become better. And most importantly, he doesn't get comfortable in his weaknesses. He fights against them. That's the kind of man who deserves support, patience, and understanding, because he's doing the work, even if it's not happening as fast as you'd like. But then there's the other side, a man who uses struggle as a cover for lack of effort. This is the man who talks about his problems but does nothing to change them. The one who makes promises but never follows through. The one who expects you to understand, to wait, to keep giving while he stays exactly the same. There's no growth, no consistency, no real accountability. And over time, you start to notice a pattern. It's always something, always an excuse, always a reason why he can't do better, but never any real action. This is where many women get stuck because they confuse potential with progress. They remember the good moments, the things he said, the person he could be, and they hold on to that instead of facing the truth of what is actually happening. They tell themselves he just needs more time, more love, more patience. But the reality is you cannot build a future on excuses. You cannot grow with someone who refuses to grow themselves. A strong woman pays attention to actions more than words. She listens, but she also observes. She notices whether his behavior aligns with his intentions. She gives grace when there is effort, but she sets boundaries when there is none, because she understands that staying in a situation where there is no growth doesn't make her loyal, it makes her stuck. And let's be clear, choosing to walk away from lack of effort is not giving up on someone, it's choosing yourself. It's recognizing that your time and your energy are valuable, and they should not be wasted on someone who isn't willing to meet you halfway. You can care about someone and still decide that they are not right for you in their current state. You can always tell the difference between something that is forced and something that is truly aligned, because one will drain you and the other will grow you. When a connection is guided by purpose, when it has something deeper behind it, it doesn't leave you feeling confused, anxious, and emotionally exhausted all the time. Instead, even with challenges, it brings a sense of peace that doesn't always make sense to others, but it feels right within you. Now, don't misunderstand this. Just because something is right doesn't mean it's always easy. Growth will stretch you. Love will challenge you. There will be moments where things feel uncertain, where both of you are learning, adjusting, and trying to become better. But the difference is those moments don't break you down completely. They don't leave you questioning your worth or doubting your value. Instead, they push you to evolve. They make you stronger, wiser, and more grounded in who you are. When something is not right, when it's not aligned, you feel it in your spirit. You feel drained. You feel like you're constantly giving more than you're receiving. You feel like you're the only one trying to hold everything together. There's always confusion, always mixed signals, always emotional ups and downs that leave you tired. And no matter how much you give, it never feels like enough. That's not growth, that's depletion. A connection that is truly guided by purpose doesn't operate like that. There is balance, there is mutual effort. Even when one person is weak, the other steps in with strength and it flows back and forth. You're not carrying the entire relationship on your own. You're building together. You're learning together. You're becoming better together. And that kind of connection doesn't take away from you. It adds to you. You'll notice that when it's right, you start becoming more of yourself, not less. You feel more confident, more secure, more at peace. You're not constantly overthinking or second guessing where you stand. There's clarity, there's reassurance, not just in words, but in actions. And even when problems come, they are faced together, not avoided or ignored. At the same time, you have to be honest with yourself. Just because you care about someone deeply doesn't mean the connection is meant to grow you. Feelings alone are not enough to sustain something healthy. You have to look at what the connection is producing in your life. Is it bringing you closer to peace or pulling you into chaos? Is it helping you grow or keeping you stuck in the same cycle? A strong woman pays attention to that. She doesn't ignore the signs just because her heart is involved. She understands that anything truly meant for her will not constantly take from her without giving something back. It won't leave her feeling empty. It won't require her to sacrifice her self-worth just to keep it alive. At the end of the day, you have to remember this. Your presence in someone's life should never come at the cost of losing yourself. Yes, you may see his potential. Yes, you may feel called to support him. Yes, there may be moments where you believe in him when no one else does. But even in all of that, you must stay grounded in your worth, your peace, and your purpose. Because real love is not about fixing someone, chasing their potential, or carrying them through life. Real love is built on mutual effort, growth, and accountability. It's about two people choosing every single day to become better, not just for each other, but for themselves. And when that choice is real, you won't feel drained, confused, or constantly questioning where you stand. You'll feel secure. You'll feel valued. You'll feel at peace. So if you're standing at a crossroads right now, wondering whether to stay to help or to walk away, listen closely, not just to your heart, but to the truth in his actions. If he's trying, if he's growing, if he's meeting you halfway, then your support has purpose. But if there's no effort, no change, no accountability, then sometimes the strongest thing you can do is step back and choose yourself. Because what is truly meant for you will never require you to break yourself to hold it together. And what is aligned with your life will not just challenge you, it will also grow you, strengthen you, and bring you a peace that doesn't have to be forced. Know your role, know your value. And never forget, you are not just part of someone else's story. You are the main character in your own.